It's so cool.
All right.
Anyway,
What's
so
on your mind? I know that you got a short time fuse here, so what do you want to chat about?
yeah, so I got a question for you, and it has to do with you're down there at Irvine.
Yep.
You played your second round today. Is that right?
I got to buy. Played the 32s yesterday, round the 16 today, quarters tomorrow.
Okay, so and the guy you played today, today was your fourth time playing him, I think.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. One, two. I think the third time. Third time.
Third time. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so the question is, and this is again boots on the ground experience, that the guy's not a bad player. He's won a gold ball, right?
Yeah, well,
I think.
he's been on the team. He made the team a couple of years ago. Yeah,
Yeah. So with a player like that, even though you've beaten him twice,
three times.
right now you got to now you got to play him again, and you won today. You beat
Yep,
you beat him for the third time. But what I'm talking about is pre-match today.
Right.
Is so how do you get your mindset not to kind of, and this is easy to do because I've been there, you've been there, I'm sure, where you kind of go, I got to play this guy again, right? And
Yeah.
and it can be this like negative kind of almost like dead man walking out to the court where you're not excited about playing because either you know the way the match is going to look or this or that, and it can be a little bit of a mental task to get yourself in that mindset that you're going to go out there and do the work today because that's kind of what it is. I know for me, when I know I've got to play a guy I've played 2, 3, 4 times and I've won each time, that it is really about, for me, it's about getting my mind right to say, how to beat the guy, go out there and now just do the work, pick up the hammer, and it's just doing the journeyman work to get the job done. So tell me how you felt today before you went out to play, knowing you're going to play this guy.
Well, look, I mean, a guy like this he's won a national singles title before recently. He won the same tournament about 3 years ago. He got selected to be in the USA team that went to Croatia. And despite the fact that I have beaten him, the last 2 times, I look at this guy and I think, I wonder if I've actually gotten his best stuff those first 2 times. And so,
right.
And so to me, it's like it's not a danger thing. It's kind of like I look at, am I going to beat these guys 50 out of 50 times in a row? No, I don't think so.
Right.
It's kind of that to me, accepting that reality that my record's not going to be a number -0 against guys who were at this level. That I got to be sharp. I just got to be sharp. I got to be mentally prepared. I got to do the work the day before, which was played my match yesterday. Went to the trainer yesterday, working on this little back issue I've got. Had an early dinner, which I like, and just really relaxed last night and just made sure I got a good night's sleep. And because I can't trust that and I think a lot of players do this. I think I know where you're going with the question, which is I can't trust that because he's never beat me before, that he's just going to go out there and kind of go, well, screw it, I can't beat this guy, so I'm just going to give it to him.
Right.
And so my mindset is that you're going to have to compete like crazy today, and it may be different than the first 2 times you played. And it was similar. It was very similar to the first 2 times we played. That it was very close in the beginning. First 6 games, 3-all, and then, like we said in yesterday's episode, I just kind of changed my shot line. I went, rather than going to the corners, and that was more of a nervous kind of thing. I said, look, let's just trust going up the middle. I did that, and it worked. But it's kind of like, so it's 3-all. Now I've won the first set 6-3. Now I'm up 2-0 in the second, so I've won 5 games in a row. And you kind of start thinking, I wonder when the other shoe is going to drop here. I wonder if something like all of a sudden, because he beat a nice player yesterday 2-0, and the guy who he beat yesterday 2-0 is a good friend of mine from the Berkeley Tennis Club, and he walked off the court and said, "Oh my God, who is this guy?" I mean, I was just carving up lines coming in, and he's hitting winners all over the place, and I'm going, Do you have to tell me this? Really? This is
Right, right,
this is my match prep the day, the next day. So
right,
look, and I think with the better players that there's kind of a little, some years, they have streaks where they're
right.
just free and they're playing. And the next thing
Yeah,
you know is the next year, and I kind of feel like like last year I felt I was sort of very consistent with playing well. This year,
right,
I don't feel that same thing, which is
right,
fine because it's a reality check that this is what tournament tennis is all about. You're never on a constant line up. You're going to have
right.
some dips in there, and and so this year is, at least it's been so far, a little bit of a dip, but I guess
Basically,
I think to answer your question, Jeff, how do I prepare? I just assume that the guy's going to be at 100%, which
right,
means that I have to be 100%, and all the results in the past get thrown out the window. Other than what's maybe worked, what can I look for? If he hits a certain shot, can I go, yeah, I've seen that before, so it's
right.
okay, it's fine. And that happened today. I mean, the guy hit
Yeah,
some incredible balls today, and I just went, wow,
yeah,
nice shot. But I think you have to not bank on the past being
right,
a gimme for
right,
the present, and so you really have to. At least I have to prepare, both mentally and physically, and
right.
and
I think
be
that's
ready.
yeah. You got to respect, the match, the forum that you're playing in. That this is a national event, or whatever it might be. League tennis, you play the same guys over and over and over again. And that can kind of dull your senses, I think, a little bit sometimes too, because you're playing all year long in league tennis, and you're playing all these same people all the time, and there's this it becomes a different experience than the national senior events where 1 year you've played a guy a few times and maybe you've taken him to task and you kind of have his number, but then what you don't know is that his life circumstances changed, and now he's had time to actually work on his game, and he's got, mentally he's free. He's not encumbered by whatever his old job
That's
or
a really good
I mean.
point. That's a really
I mean,
good point.
things
Yeah.
change. I mean, I had the time and wherewithal in 2016 to really train and mentally get my head wrapped around it, and I had a great year. I think I was number 3 at the end of the year in the country in doubles in the 55s, and number 11, I think, in singles. And I ended up tweaking my neck right at the end of the year, so I missed my last event, the hard courts at Indian Wells, and that kind of put a damper at the on the ranking at the end of the year. But all in all, though, I had a great year. I won Berkeley singles and doubles. Lost in the finals of Marin, silvered in dubs at the indoors in Boise. So it was a great year, but I had the mental freedom and the time to actually do the extra training and do all that. And so you never know when you go to these events, who is that guy that has
No,
some.
I just said I think that's a great
Yeah,
point. Is that we all are living in reality in terms of these lives that are behind closed doors that you don't ever see, and just because you've gotten the W over a guy a couple of times in a row, it could have been that
right,
during those times they were going through some kind of crap in their lives that you would never wish on your worst enemy,
right,
and the next thing you know is it's now in the past, and they're now freed up.
right,
And if you're thinking, well, I've beaten the guy in the past, so he's probably going to give it to me. All right, I won't have. Sorry, dude. You
right,
you better pay attention and get yourself together, as if you've never played the guy before.
right.
The only thing is that you have a little intel on the guy, but man, you better give it 100%.
Right, because you just don't know, and it works the opposite way too, where maybe you've played a guy maybe you played a guy in college, or if you played junior tennis, and now you're playing the
Right.
senior stuff and all
Yeah.
that, and you played college ball and all that, and all of a sudden you see you got to play,
So yeah.
Joe in the second round, and you realize, God, that guy kicked my ass. That guy's a great player. And you get out to the court and you realize Joe discovered food, and
That's right.
he's 35 pounds overweight,
Right.
40 pounds overweight. He
Yeah.
still strikes a good ball,
Yeah.
but he's really not more than a step and a half before that's it, right?
Right.
The point's over. So it works both ways. But I think you really, if you simply just respect, why you're there at the event, and like you said, you mentally prepare to go out there and do battle, and you respect the player, no matter what you think of their level, you got to go out there and get the job done.
Yeah.
And you got to get it done as quickly as possible. And there, because there's reasons for that. The way I see it is that I got to get it done as quickly as possible, because I don't need an extra game that it's possible for me to yank a calf muscle, or
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, that extra is, you know what I mean? So I always look at it that way, that go out there, get it done as efficiently as possible, and get off the court.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right.
great job today that you made a little adjustment in your tactic after 3-all, and you saw the opportunity to make that change, and you did it, and then you blazed off the next 9 games.
Yeah, 3-0, and yet the whole time, I mean, every game is still.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a tight 3-0.
It was a tie 3-0. I don't
Yeah.
remember. There might have been one game where I held serve at love, maybe. I mean, I remember at
Right.
one point I was serving a 40 love, going, "Wow, this is unusual."
Right.
And I probably chunked a couple, and then got lucky at 40-30 and won the game. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, so lots of times the score is not indicative with the top guys is how tough the match was. And look, you got to. I mean, today I really knew I had to get into the hook of my song immediately after every point.
Right.
I had to do that, Jeff, because I knew that I could have. It would have been like an assembly of voices going off in there, just going, thinking
Right.
about all these things. And for me, I know that I'm not sure that you're a true believer in the hook to a song thing. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people it doesn't work. But for me,
Right.
what it does when I immediately go to that is I figure I can't multitask. I can't hum or sing a song to myself and also have a bunch of other voices going, well, God, if you win this next point, man, then it's 30-15. And if you win that point, then it's 40-15. And then you're up 3-1, dude. And just think about that. And then you get to play Logan tomorrow. And, if you beat him tomorrow, I'm going, shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
Because the voice just starts to accelerate.
Oh, and it just expands. Yeah, and someone turns on the wah-wah pedal, and it starts getting with the echo effect, and it gets pretty intense.
And it just sounds like the teacher from Peanuts. Wah 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 wah.
That's right. So
anyway, good stuff. Okay,
all right, man. Well, listen,
that's cool. So anyway, that's
great question. So guys, listen. I don't think we mentioned at the top of this episode about a free coaching call with just you, me, and Jeff. It's 10 minutes. It's private. We don't record it, so we're not going to, send it out there in the interwebs and go, listen to what we're talking about with this dude with his problem.
Right.
It's private, but it's only 10 minutes. So you got to bring that one thing in your game right now where there's a bit of a struggle going on that Jeff and I would like to give you an idea or two to set you on a path to get the result that you eventually want, whether it's singles or doubles. The way to do that, go over to goalballhunting.com. That is a website. Remember the days, Jeff, where we used to go, well, you got to go to www. There's always I was going, I think we know that we got to put in www, right?
Right.
And now,
well, it's so convenient now. You don't have to.
you don't have to put anything. Just kind of put it in there. And anyway, goalballhunting.com, first name, email, address. Click the button, and you'll get immediate access to our online calendar, where you can cherry pick a date and time that works best for you. Not for us, but for you. Jeffrey, what will we like these outstanding tennis players, both the guys and the gals, to do right now?
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below.
Outstanding. And, as this episode's been going on, it's been getting darker and darker.
Darker and darker. I'm looking, I'm seeing it going, can they even see me? Right?
So if you've been watching this on YouTube, it's kind of hysterical. It's kind of fun. All right, guys, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Jeff, we'll do this again tomorrow.
Can't wait.
All right.